If you've watched one of my jewelry restoration or repair videos before, then you know what I'm going to do today. I've got two beautiful vintage Japan necklaces that I purchased in a lot that I'm going to do a repair to. Let's have a look at this lot. I'm going to show you the undamaged necklaces along with the damaged ones, and I'm also going to talk about how I plan to go about repairing these pieces. This is a small lot that I managed to purchase online. A couple of these necklaces, they really don't have anything wrong with them. All of these pieces are vintage. They were made in Japan. Show you the marking on it. The great thing about this necklace, along with the other one, they're both wearable and they're made out of glass beads. I don't run across a lot of vintage Japan pieces that are actually made out of glass. Most of the pieces that I run across are made out of plastic or lucite beads. So I was really excited that it had two beautiful glass bead necklaces. Both of these are faux glass pearls. They're both in really good wearable condition. So I'm going to set these two to the side, and what we really want to look at are the two damaged necklaces in this lot. Both of these necklaces, as I've already mentioned, are damaged. This one, I love the beads on it. I love the floral beads and the combination of all of the different types of clear beads and pink colored beads. This one's also done in shades of pink and white. My favorite beads on this necklace are these speckled beads. They look like they have paint splatter on them. Both of these necklaces are multi-strand necklaces. The first necklace that I showed you guys came with a ton of loose beads. So my guess is that there will be enough beads, or at least close to enough, that I can reconstruct the necklace and put it back in its original form. The problem with this little necklace is there are no loose beads in the bag, and it's missing an entire strand. So I'm going to lay this out so you guys can get a really good look at it. Both of these necklaces were strung on what looks to be cotton or silk cording. And of course, these are old. These are probably from the 1950s or 60s. And over time, the cording has started to fray and come loose. You can see there's a lot of loose threads here. Just two strands. Both of these strands are intact, but they will most likely need to be completely restrung just by looking at them. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about creating another strand for this. I will figure something out. I'll look through my stash of beads. I may very well have some beads that come close enough to matching, or I could just do just one strand of pearls, because there are faux pearls in this necklace. For this necklace, I've went ahead and gone through my stash of beads, and I just picked out random beads that I thought would blend in well with the necklace, and I'll show those to you guys. So I've picked out some faux pearls. I have some pale pink beads that I may be able to incorporate into the necklace, and I picked out these kind of lime green seed beads, thinking that they might work just in case I needed them. But looking at these small seed beads on this necklace, I don't think they're going to work. I think they're going to stand out way too much. So I'm probably not going to use those seed beads. My goal here is to reconstruct the necklace and put it back into its original form, or as close to its original form as I can. I'm guessing I'm probably going to be missing a few beads when it comes to reconstructing the broken strand off this necklace. So what I'll do in that case is I'll just add a few beads in that I think will go well with the necklace. I also have these beads, and I think they would work really well. I used these beads in a previous project of restoring a Western Germany necklace, and they're about the right shade of color. So I may very well end up incorporating some of these into that necklace. I'm also going to try to reuse the original findings that are on this necklace. Usually when I redo pieces like this, I always like to give them a very good cleaning. I'm not going to submerge this necklace into any kind of cleaning mixture that I've mixed up, because you can see here some of these beads have a coating on them. And this type of coating can come off really easily. So this necklace will get a really good wipe down all over with disinfectant wipes. One thing I am seeing is one of the fittings here has some discoloration. I think it's probably just dirt and grime, but just to be sure, I'm going to remove that, and I am going to soak it in a mixture of water, dishwashing liquid, and vinegar, just to make sure I get all of that off of there before I put the necklace back together. I've decided that I want to redo this necklace first, and then I'll move on to the second one. So what I've done here is I'm using a beading board. I've laid the necklace out, and I've also laid out the loose beads, so it kind of gives me an idea if I'm going to have enough beads, how long it needs to be, so on and so forth. I've also taken some pictures just in case I need something to look back at as a reference, but for the most part, I'll be copying the beading pattern of the strands that are still intact. One thing that I'm seeing already is I'm not going to have enough beads to repair this broken strand. So I may very well have to pull from the stash of beads that I had sorted out ahead of time. The second thing that I noticed with this necklace, which is a good thing, is that it does have a beaded extender. So I may very well be able to use some beads off of that extender. And last of all, the floral beads. That's going to be somewhat of a problem because I definitely don't have enough. In these sections where the floral beads are, they've put 4 of these floral beads together, and I just don't have enough to do that. So at this point, what I'm thinking is to try to get by with just using 3 floral beads per a section. Okay, so let's get started. The first order of business is to take this part off. I mentioned earlier I'm going to give this a really good soaking so I can get it nice and clean before I put it back on the necklace. And if you guys just want to watch, I'll show you how I take this off. This is an older finding, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has a hole at the bottom. Then it has a piece that kind of loops over so that it can hook to this part of the necklace. So I'm simply going to use my jewelry pliers, open that up, and then I'll have to remove the thread from it so that I can give it a really good soaking. And I'm going to be using a solution of a little bit of water, some vinegar, and some dish liquid. I'm going to mix all of that up, and I'm probably going to let this soak between maybe 30 minutes or up to an hour. I'll give it a gentle scrub with a toothbrush just to make sure I get all of the dirt and grime off of it. Okay, so I paused recording while I was soaking this piece. It's clean, it's all ready to go. I didn't show that process because I have shown it in previous videos. I am going to be using silk beading thread. This is by Beadalon. It's 2 millimeters. And you can buy this at any craft store that sells jewelry supplies, and you can also buy this type of threading material online. This silk cord already comes with a needle attached to it. It's a very thin needle. That makes it a lot easier to put through these beads. And I'm just going to start out by putting this through the bottom part of this binding. And it's already knotted on the end, so I'll just pull that through, make sure it's secure. I will put a drop of jewelry glue because this type of threading material does have a tendency to fray. So it's always a good practice to put just a small drop of jewelry glue on the end of it, just to make sure that it's nice and secure. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start putting my beads on the thread. I'm going to start off slow so that you guys can see the process, you can see what I'm doing. Then I won't be doing any talking. I'm going to speed the video up, and once I get the entire strand done, I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. This is what I've completed so far, and I think it's going to look okay to use 3 of those floral beads instead of 4. Now I'm going to speed the video up, and I'll come back once I get all the beads on the strand and let you guys see what it looks like. So this is what my strand looks like. I did have to add in some of those extra beads I had showed you guys at the beginning of the video. I've already secured the ends. I've put a drop of super glue on each end just to keep the thread from fraying. Now that that's completed, I'm going to reattach this to the necklace, and then I'll show you guys how it looks. I'll tell you where I did and didn't add beads, and we'll look at it on the necklace form. The broken strand that I reconstructed was the shortest strand of this necklace. It has a long strand, a mid-length, which is attached in the middle, and then the shortest strand is going to attach at the top. This is pretty easy to reattach using that tiny little finding that was already on the necklace. It has kind of like a little hook on it, so I'm just going to hook that through there. And then once it's hooked in correctly, I'm just going to tighten that up with my jewelry pliers. I want to make sure that it's on there nice and snug so that it doesn't come loose. One more side to go, and I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the completed necklace on the necklace stand. I think this turned out lovely. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I feel like this type of necklace, or any type of vintage necklace, if you can, it's always worth reconstructing it and saving it. A lot of times, just because the pieces are broken, people will scrap those pieces, but if you can repair them, they're just wonderful items to have, wonderful items to repair so that they can be worn again. I am going to zoom in and give you guys a close look. Now, you can't really see it here, but towards the end of the strand that I replaced, I did add a couple of those beads that I showed you in the beginning that came from my craft supplies. And you really can't even tell because the colors blend in so well with this necklace. You guys let me know what you think of this one in the comments. And now I'm going to start with the second necklace, and I'm going to tell you my plan for it. I already mentioned that this necklace is missing an entire strand. None of the loose beads that would have went with that strand came in that lot, so all of that has to be reconstructed. Unlike the previous necklace, this entire necklace needs to be restrung. When you look at this necklace, you can see that the cording is stretched out. There's a lot of loose beads on this. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to restring all the strands on it, plus I'm going to create another strand. In the case of this necklace, I've decided instead of using the silk beading cord, I'm going to use very thin, flexible jewelry wire. And I like to do that a lot of times when I'm redoing these old necklaces because over time, the cotton cording or the silk cording, it will start to stretch out, it'll start to fray, and I want this necklace to be worn for many years to come. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is this necklace is filthy. I am going to give it a really good cleaning, and the tiny beads that you see in between all of these seed beads, they are supposed to be clear glass beads, and it has so much grime on it that they actually look black. So I'm probably going to completely replace those. I'm not going to record the reconstruction of this necklace, but what I will do is I will come back once it's completed, and I'll show you guys what I came up with to make a strand for this necklace that blended in and looked correct. This is the completed necklace, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what I've done here. The first thing you'll notice is the beading pattern of this necklace. Now, the center strand is the strand that I reconstructed, but in this beading pattern at the bottom, it has this large bead, and then it has the speckled beads on each side, and at the top, it's kind of reversed. So I wanted to do the same thing with the center strand. So those beads I showed you guys at the beginning of the video, those pale pink, kind of unusually shaped beads that I said I had used previously to restore a West Germany necklace. That's what I decided to use in the center strand. And since I was restringing the entire necklace, I decided to steal a couple of beads from each strand and replace them with those unusual shaped beads that I used in the center strand. That gave me a few extra beads that I could use in the center strand to create it that would blend in and make this necklace look right. I wanted it to look cohesive, like it was meant to look this way. I didn't want it to look like something that had been thrown together while it was being reconstructed. And this is a look at this necklace on the necklace stand. Again, I'm very pleased. I think if you didn't know any better, you would think that this necklace was in its complete original form. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that these necklaces turned out well? Which one was your favorite? And most of all, do you think that these necklaces were worth the effort of saving? If you guys enjoyed today's content, please remember to give me a thumbs up. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Ring the bell for notifications and you'll be notified anytime I upload new content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.